The action begins in a remote laboratory in the mountains, where a group of scientists are working on a secret project. Among them, the main character is Clara, a biologist with a dark past, who is forced to participate in experiments against her will. Their project aims to restore life functions in dead soldiers in order to create perfect fighters. One night, as the lab sinks into silence, Clara hears strange rustlings. There is no one in the corridors, but she thinks she senses someone's presence. At that moment, the surveillance systems begin to flash and blurred silhouettes appear on the monitors. The next day, one of the scientists, Dr. Williams, disappears. His lab appears to be in disarray, but there is no blood or signs of a struggle. The group decides he has simply left the facility, but Clara suspects something is wrong. She finds his notes where he mentions strange changes in the object's behavior. In the evening, the power goes out in the lab. Footsteps are heard in total darkness, and in one of the far rooms, Clara finds William's corpse. His face is twisted in horror and deep scratches are visible on his body. Suddenly she hears a low hiss behind her and turns around, but sees only an empty corridor. The next morning, it is discovered that one of the experiments, the subject codenamed Silent, has disappeared from his pod. Cameras did not capture the moment of disappearance, but claw marks on the metal indicate that he got out by force. The group begins to panic. Later, strange things begin to happen at the facility. Doors slam shut on their own, lights flicker, and muffled thumps are heard in the corridors. One of the junior assistants, Jason, disappears, and only bloody footprints remain where he was last seen. Clara begins to investigate and discovers that the project was funded by the military, who wanted to create an army of obedient soldiers. However, something went wrong and the creatures began to show aggression. Their brains, instead of being subservient, began to develop the capacity for collective intelligence. In the recorded footage, Clara sees one of the zombies leading the others. His movements are fluid and confident, as if he is conscious of every action. Clara realizes that the Silent One didn't just escape, he now controls all the zombies in the lab. The remnants of the group decide to escape, but all paths are blocked. They try to get through the ventilation shafts, but the zombies already know their plans. One by one, people start to die and the zombies show terrifying coordination, attacking without sound but with terrifying efficiency. Clara finds a hidden room where she discovers an old server. On it is recorded data about the project. She realizes that the Silent One can transmit its thoughts through electromagnetic pulses, suppressing people's will and manipulating them. Her job is to shut down the server to stop it. Clara makes her way to the server room, avoiding zombie attacks. In the darkness, she is pursued by the Silent One, whose figure is barely recognizable, but his empty eyes gleam in the light of the emergency lights. In a last dash, Clara reaches the server room and enters the command to shut down the system completely. The system shuts down, and the zombies begin to stop like broken machines. But the Silent One doesn't give up. He attacks Clara, and in a final fight, she uses an improvised weapon to defeat him. Clara comes to the surface, scarred but alive. However, she notices that her hand begins to tremble and her skin is covered in strange patches. She realizes she is infected and slowly begins to lose control of her body. Clara writes down her last words to warn the world of a new threat before she becomes part of the mind of the Silent Ones.